Joining me now from the spin room is Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign manager, James Uthemeier. Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So I have to start with the fact that people took note of the fact that Governor DeSantis seemed to sharpen his attacks against the GOP frontrunner, saying he was missing in action. And a lot of his supporters, I think, would ask the question, what has taken him so long to get to this point, to take this type of a sharp attack against the former president?
Well, sure. Well, as we're traveling around Iowa and talking to families, we're hearing over and over again that people are hurting. Gas is now $5, $6 a gallon here in California. New mortgage rates over 8%. Basic household goods are going up 40 to 60%. People are suffering, and it's because of the reckless spending in D.C., and both Republicans and Democrats are to blame. The former president, he never vetoed a single thing, leading to over $7 trillion increase in the national deficit, the most of any president at that time. And the reality is he is missing in action. This is not the Donald Trump from 2016. The people in this country deserve to hear a vision from every candidate that wants to be president, and he's not here. He owes it to the people to defend his own record.
James, I guess my question is, was it a mistake for Governor DeSantis not to start off on this strong foot when he first jumped into the race?
Well, I actually think he did start off. I mean, right out in the race, he's pointed out the differences between he and the former president, spending, COVID and the shutdowns, draining the swamp. The former president did not drain the swamp. Ron DeSantis, on the other hand, has fired numerous state officials, including 2 Soros prosecutors. He's focused on the issues. He doesn't get personal. And the reality is, where Donald Trump has had some good ideas, and look, I voted for him, he never actually finished the job. He started the wall. He didn't finish it. He said, let's drain the swamp, but the administrative state only grew. Ron DeSantis, on the other hand, in Florida, has done everything he said he would do, and then some. He got out the red marker. He did veto after veto after veto, over $6 billion in legislative appropriations. He kicked back to him, and now Florida's got the #1 state economy in the country.
James, you know, we noticed that there was a lot of crosstalk in this debate. The candidates obviously very eager to get their positions out. But do you think, given that Governor DeSantis or anyone moved the needle tonight?
I think it was very clear to people at home, only one candidate on that stage looked like the president, and that is Ron DeSantis. You had spats going left and right, but question after question, every issue, he has delivered. He has the proven record, and as your president, he will get the job done. The people heard that tonight. They know that. He distanced himself from the rest of the stage, and you will see this horse race continue to get stronger and stronger as we get into the early states. And Ron DeSantis has one thing that no other candidate, including the former president, has. He has the most resources and the most robust operation in the early states, especially Iowa. He has county chairs in every single state, and he will spend a lot of time there. When it's cold, 20 degrees on caucus night, Ron DeSantis is going to have the team connected to the voters that get people out to carry out their duty. He's going to do very well in Iowa. I can't wait for it.
Very quickly, there was a moment where he teed up Senator Scott for what seemed to be a strong moment for him, talking about the language of slavery curriculum in Florida. I'll read the quote. It says, quote, instruction includes how slaves develop skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. The governor dismissed it as a hoax, but it's written right there in black and white. I mean, does the governor need to shift his messaging on this to help people better understand where he stands, to address the concerns of, as the moderator said, the descendants of slaves?
No, the curriculum talks about benefits that slaves learned in spite of slavery. The curriculum also talks about the atrocities of slavery. Ron DeSantis is not going to fall victim to some liberal hoax that Kamala Harris has pushed. And, you know, shame on Senator Scott and the rest of the D.C. establishment for siding with Kamala Harris. No, Ron DeSantis believes in teaching history, true history, a curriculum focused on civics, math, science, real education, not indoctrination. And that's why Florida has been ranked by U.S. News and World Rankings as the #1 K-12 school system in the country, as well as higher education, too. We've banned CRT. We've banned DEI. We are focusing on getting kids jobs. That's what they want.
And I know we got to get your camera free, or else we'd have a more robust back and forth over this. But James Uthemeier, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.